Manchester United to make summer move for Benjamin Sesko. Erik ten Hag likely to keep his job for next season. Another loan deal for Jadon Sancho, with Dortmund apparently not wanting to pay the money we want. And Alejandro Garnacho dreams of playing for Real Madrid. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this morning's show. But before we jump into that, please smash a like on today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's get straight on into it. Let's start off with this story about Garnacho. Obviously, we spoke about this on the show last night, and the headline last night was that apparently the Real Madrid CEO, Florentino Perez, is going to meet Garnacho when Real Madrid travel to Manchester for their Champions League next group round against Man City, obviously at the Etihad. So apparently when they come over, they're going to have a meeting. Apparently he wants to signing for Real Madrid. I do think it's worrying, but I'll say this. I think it's written in the stars that Garnacho will go to Real Madrid at some point. Obviously, we know that Cristiano Ronaldo is his idol. We know that he loves Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, he does his celebrations and all the rest of it. Like, he is his idol. Ronaldo is Garnacho's idol. It's a fact. He said that. And obviously, Ronaldo came to United, turned into a world-class player, and then went to Real Madrid. And it does make sense. Obviously, Garnacho was born in Madrid as well, which some people might not realise. I know he's of Argentinian nationality, but his actual birthplace was Madrid, having originally been part of the Atletico Madrid youth setup before moving to Manchester United when he was about 16. So the story then goes on to say this morning that Garnacho's dream as a player is to play for Real Madrid, not in the immediate future, but he has it clear that he wants to play for Real Madrid at some point in his career. As I said, I think this will happen. I don't think it'll be this summer, but I think in the next couple of years, Garnacho to Real Madrid will happen, which is disappointing, you know, because I love Garnacho. He probably is, if not my favourite, my top 2 or 3 players at Manchester United. My favourites are Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, Martinez, and Kobe Mainoo. Those are like the 4 players that I think are untouchable for me personally. So yeah, it is disappointing, but I think it's to be expected, being completely honest. And I just hope that we get another kind of 2-3 years out of Garnacho, and I hope that we win stuff with Garnacho, and I hope that, you know, he is our Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, that would be the dream, wouldn't it? If he turns into a Premier League winner, a Champions League winner here at United. He's got 4 years left of his contract, so there's nothing to worry about in the immediate future. Manchester United could effectively ask for whatever type of money they want from Real Madrid. You know, we'd be talking 100 million. If Antony cost us 95 million euros last summer, then Garnacho's going to be 100 million, surely, you know? Like, Man United wouldn't be stupid enough to sell Garnacho for less money than what they paid on Antony. Like, that would make no sense. Antony sits on the bench, and Garnacho started, I think, 25 games in a row. Like, so I think we're safe for now. Obviously, Real Madrid are on the brink of signing Kylian Mbappe, so they're not going to probably have the resources to be able to, you know, be throwing hundreds of millions of pounds around on a 19-year-old Garnacho. But it is something we need to consider for the future. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section. Would you sell Garnacho? Do you think he'll leave? Let me know what you think. Moving on to the next story, we're going to talk a little bit about Benjamin Sesko. Obviously, a player we were heavily linked to last summer and the summer before that, actually. And the headline this morning is that apparently Manchester United remain very interested in signing Red Bull Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko. It says United's existing recruitment team believe his versatility and age would make him an ideal profile to support Rasmus Højlund. Fabrizio Romano also spoke about the striker situation last night at Manchester United, and he said that apparently Manchester United will 100% sign a striker this summer, which is really good because we need it. Obviously, Anthony Martial's contract expires this year, in May or June, I think it is. So we'll 100% need to sign a striker. And Fabrizio says a striker, a central defender, and a left back are on Manchester United's list. And then he also said that Manchester United will sign a striker this summer. That is the number one priority for them. Obviously, with Anthony Martial going, we only have one striker now. We'll have Rasmus Højlund. I know people will think, well, Martial's been injured all season. We have still only had one striker, but Martial is leaving 100% in June. His contract expires, so we need to bring in a replacement. And you know what? I think Benjamin Sesko would be an interesting profile of player. 20 years of age, obviously still very young. I like him. I think he's good. He hasn't had the most prolific season so far in the Bundesliga, being completely honest. He's got 7 goals and 2 assists in 23 matches, which is okay. I mean, it's about the same as what Højlund's got in the Premier League, isn't it? Probably, it might even be exactly the same amount, because I know Højlund's has scored a few recently in the Premier League, but it has been a little bit slow, hasn't it, at first? Let's have a look. So Højlund's got 7 goals and 2 assists. So as it stands at the moment, Højlund and Sesko have both scored and got the same amount of assists as each other, which is quite strange, but let's not obsess over that too much. Would I sign Benjamin Sesko at Manchester United? Yeah, I think it'd be a good option. I would love to see a young, youthful player to come in and rival Rasmus Højlund. The last thing I want is someone in their mid-30s who's just going to come in for a season. We need someone who's going to be here for the next 10 years. And Benjamin Sesko represents that. Rasmus Højlund represents that. Kobe Mainoo represents that. You know, these are all young players that we could build our team around. So yeah, for me personally, I think Benjamin Sesko would be a really interesting option. Obviously, there's other profiles like Jonathan David's another name we've been linked to in the last couple of weeks. I don't know about Jonathan David, to be honest. I feel like there was 1 or 2 seasons where he was really, really sought after. He's now in his mid-20s, which is still young. I think he's 25 this year, but yeah, I don't know. He has only got 1 year left of his contract though. So Jonathan David is definitely one to keep an eye on. Only his contract expires literally in 1 year, and he's going to move this summer, apparently. We know that Arsenal are interested. We know that Chelsea need a striker. There are loads of teams who need a striker this summer. So I think, you know, Jonathan David will go somewhere, but whether it's to Manchester United or not, I don't know. This season, he's got 15 goals and 2 assists in the French league, which is, it's not bad, but it is the French league at the end of the day, isn't it? Like, yeah, it's not, in my opinion, as good as the Bundesliga, so, or the Premier League, obviously. So, but I mean, yeah, it's still a decent return, isn't it? 15 goals and 2 assists, and he's got 3 goals in the Conference League in 6 matches as well. So it's okay. But yeah, there's lots of other people we've been linked to, but I'll leave that section of the show for now. You can let me know in the comment section, who do you want Manchester United to sign in the striker position this summer? We are going to sign a striker. Who would you like that player to be? Let me know in the comment section below. I always like to see what you guys have to say. So get in the comment section. Let me know. Do you want Benjamin Sesko? Do you want Jonathan David? Always interested to see what you guys have to say. Moving over to the manager situation. So Fabrizio Romano was talking on a podcast last night about Erik ten Hag, and he said that Erik ten Hag has a good chance of being the Manchester United manager next season. I think that's positive. I do. I think Erik ten Hag deserves 1 more year. And obviously Fabrizio Romano is one of the most reliable journalists out there. So when he says something, you have to listen to it, because he doesn't just make stuff up for clicks. You know, he's a very reliable journalist. And for him to say there's a good chance that he's going to be here, I think that's, you know, you have to take that for what it is. Obviously, our season could completely derail now. We could lose the next 10 games in the row, and then I'm sure he would be sacked. But I do expect Manchester United to stay around 6th place, which would be Europa League. Obviously, I expect us to go to the FA Cup final. And considering where we were back in December, I'm not going to say it's a successful season, but based on how bad the season was going, for us to finish 5th or 6th and to get to an FA Cup final, it's okay. It's not good, but it's okay. And in my opinion, it would earn Erik ten Hag, based off what he did last year as well, the chance to work for 1 more season with a proper director of football, with Omar Barada, to clear out the players and to really, really give it a go next season. And if it doesn't work next season, then of course, you then need to start asking serious questions. But for me personally, you know, when you see the names that we're linked to, the number 1 priority, apparently, if Erik ten Hag gets sacked, is Gareth Southgate. Just let that sink in for a minute. So for all of you people out there who are saying, I want Erik ten Hag out, that's fine. You're entitled to that opinion, but you've just got to realise what the reality is if Erik ten Hag was to go. It's going to be someone like Gareth Southgate. It's going to be Graham Potter. Like, those are the names that are getting floated around. We're not going to get Zinedine Zidane. That's not going to happen. The top 4 people at the moment in order to be the next Manchester United manager. Gareth Southgate is currently the favourite. Then it's Graham Potter. Then it's Ruben Amorim, who's the Sporting Lisbon manager. And then it's Thomas Tuchel. Those are the 4 names that are the most likely on the betting websites at the moment. Now, I know obviously betting websites aren't always right, but there's been a lot of people talking about Graham Potter, a lot of people talking about Gareth Southgate. And when you actually break it down, you can see that happening. Dan Ashworth obviously worked with both Graham Potter and Gareth Southgate. Gareth Southgate when he was in the FA, and obviously Graham Potter at Brighton. Like, you can see where these stories are coming from. But yeah, for me personally, I'd keep Erik ten Hag for 1 season, that 1 more season, and give him 1 more chance. But let me know what you guys think on that as well. Moving on to Jadon Sancho, I won't speak about this for too long because, to be honest, I'm sick of talking about him. So Sport Bild, which is a very reliable German outlet, are reporting this morning that Dortmund and United are due to hold talks about Sancho in May. to discuss a possible deal. Great. But then it goes on to say that the most likely scenario would be another loan. I mean, if we loan him again, that's just ridiculous. I'm sorry. Like, we're paying, I think, half of his wages. We paid 75 million euros for him. To loan him out 2 seasons in a row, that's ridiculous. Either he comes back and apologizes and he's part of the team, or he's sold. We can't just pay for him to go and have a nice time in Dortmund. Like, that's just stupid, and it makes us look weak. So hopefully this isn't right. Hopefully this is just, a story that maybe won't happen, but he needs to go for money. We can't loan him again. That's just ridiculous in my opinion. Moving over to Garnacho quickly. We spoke about Garnacho, actually, didn't we? We spoke about Garnacho already. The final story I had for you today, guys, is about who's going to be the new technical director of Manchester United. Obviously, at the moment, we have Omar Barada through the door. Dan Ashworth's on the brink of being signed. And it looks like Manchester United will appoint Jason Wilcox as the new technical director. It says Man United are expected to make a formal approach for Jason Wilcox in the next week. United want him in place as the new technical director for the summer. And people are probably saying, who is Jason Wilcox? I don't know who that is. Give me some more information about him, which obviously I'm more than happy to do. So currently he's the director of football at Southampton. Before that, he was the manager of the academy at Man City. And before that, he was the head of academy coaching at Man City. So he's worked at the top level, obviously, and he's worked with Omar Barada, which is important. And I think he'd be a very, very good person to be the technical director. So I would endorse this. I'd be very happy about it. But if there's someone else you have in mind, obviously, feel free to let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on the show this morning. If you have enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. This has been Daily Red Devil, and I'll speak to you all a little bit later on.